Okay, you get to be with me as I am driving from here to there. Got my nails done today. That's very good. So what is life here? A day in the life. Well, I'm in the Jag. I showed up at a meeting on the wrong day. That in my mind, I am so discombobulated from my surgeries that I totally think it's a week later. So I'm driving back home, and I'm gonna have to pick up some dinner because it was a dinner meeting, and I screwed that up. So I was running late, so I texted the meeting person. The person who was having the meeting to say I'm late, and they're like, "Hey, I just talked to you yesterday, and they are at Prosperidad, which is this big thing, and they're like, I just landed here," and I'm like, "Oh God, you know what? I'm just so confused." So sometimes I lose it. That's the good news. Sometimes I lose it too. Ridiculous. So welcome to the life of Mickey Mikeworth. I am through jaw surgery. Yesterday, I had a crown pop off, and 2 days ago, I had a crown pop off. So I called the dentist. Actually, hubby called the dentist on my behalf. And the new dentist, and I had just had oral surgery 2 weeks ago. And so I've had 2 oral surgeries, and they were miserable. And so then this popped off, and it just is the presentation of something that I had read randomly in my horoscope that said, pay special care to dental. And boy, was it a message. So I'm so far this year, I'm 6,000 in. I know I have another 4,000 to go. With this extra pop-off, the dentist says to me today, he goes, well, I was curious about what was under there. And now I know. It's just as bad as I thought. So we're going to have to fix that right away. That's it. That little problem has now just pushed itself right to the front of the line. And I went, oh my gosh, I'm a wreck. And this new dentist, I just really do care about. And this new dentist goes, you are not a wreck. This is all fixable. We'll get all this straightened out. And I just went, oh gosh, thank you. Someone who is as Mickey Mikeworth as it is. And so when I start to meet these people, now I have not had the same dentist as my husband in this 27 years of our marriage. And they love their dentist. And I loved my dentist, but my dentist is now gone. So I'm feeling this void. I really am feeling a void over it. And so I finally go to this dentist because I had a problem. And so he just is walking me through my process. And the more I kind of peek in to some of the parts of my husband, the more I just have this, you know how like you start to pick up something that you didn't think was a possibility, and then you can look back at it and go, why, my God, it's been that way the whole time. And the my God, this has been there the whole time, is that my husband has always kind of pushed on to me that I'm the moonbeam of the family. And every time that we get somewhere, I go, no. I actually think you're the moonbeam. And that's probably why I married you, but you were in disguise. So, yes, I and Mr. Moonbeam that I married has a dentist that's also a moonbeam. And he is fabulous. But when we first started dating, he had a therapist named Walter. And Walter was the king of moonbeams. That I got out of that office and I went, that's your therapist? What? And he's just chill, relax. And this is this model of like, don't take it too seriously. We got stuff to do, but, okay. So I think as I listen to the songs that my husband loves, we just got back from another trip where we were in, again, chasing across the country to see a rock star before they die. And my husband loves this band called Yes, and anyone that was in that band ever is really on his radar. And there was a member of that band, his name was Chris Squire, who died, who really was my husband's like number one hero. So that was like his rock hero. And like he was super glad that I had a spare cape in his eyes, so that he could celebrate and play his bass, which is a Chris Squire model. So he had a tribute to his rock legend. We went to see Rick Wakeman, and Rick is touring with his son Oliver, and we got to meet Oliver, and Oliver is 52, so he's a full-grown man with little kids of his own. And but it was nice to see father and son performing. And if you don't know who Rick Wakeman is, if you have ever heard these really, if it's a melody that is going to stay in your mind, Rick is just a really great composer. And he played, which I recorded, my absolutely, like the thing I needed to see out of Rick before he doesn't come to America anymore, or because, if he dies, he's only 82 or 87 maybe. No, he's 82, I think. But he, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And he wrote the melody to some of David Bowie's music, and specifically the Star music, Life on Mars. And so to see him, I'm in the, right in the front row, but to just watch him be that person is phenomenal. And it just made me happy to see Rick play, and to see him play with his son, and to kind of really get to see his son kind of tell a story about how fun it was to be the son of a rock star, and to also play music, and to hear that, he used to exactly if you've ever played a piano, I played piano as a child, but if you ever played piano as an older person, you will often put a baby or a child right here, and then you will play together. And it was nice to hear that Rick had done this tribute. So the little play game that he played with his dad 130 years ago, 100 years ago, right? I mean, I think he told me that his dad would be 130 right now. So all of the things that he got to do with his dad, he did with his son, and now his son does with his son. So it was just nice to see the lineage of all the piano playing. What else is going on? Well, so now I'm gonna drive over here and get a dinner, and that's when I'm gonna say goodbye. What else is going on? Well, let's see. It's Monday, and we're back to work, and really big week this week. I screwed up today, and no wonder I'm discombobulated. I had an emergency. I took 3 emergency calls today of things that were truly emergencies. These were not people that were overreacting in any way. We had to really fix some things today. And so when an emergency call comes in and it is a real emergency, I literally am never mad. I am never annoyed. I'm like, thank you for calling. Let's get on this right away. And these were real emergencies. The other thing that came today was my grandnephew is pregnant, and they are a high-risk pregnancy, so it is good news with bated breath. And I was so proud of my family because they really took it seriously that this is his news to tell, not your news to tell me. So let him tell his good news. So he sent me a text, hey, I wanted to tell you something that was really important to me, but then I couldn't get a hold of him for 2 or 3 days. But everybody else knew, and everyone knew that it was me that was going to go cray-cray, because I have been praying literally for a baby for this young man, because he is, one, the person that he's marrying has already lost she's already miscarried 6 times. She is a high-risk pregnancy. And that high-risk pregnancy may have been from her partner. We don't know that. But she also has endometriosis. And so when you have these things, this is dangerous territory and possible territory. So, and they don't have a dime. And they do not have a dime. And I don't care. I will find money for them to have a baby. So I sent some resources over. They're going to have an ultrasound tomorrow. And I just said to him, I said, look, I've made a lot of people really rich. And those people are lovely human beings. That everyone that I helped make a beautiful life with are beautiful people. And they will go out of their way to help you. And to help us find the resources for a high-risk pregnancy. And so I sent him some links, and these are top people in the nation that are just people that I love and have helped and done things with. So it's one of those things where, because they're just young, right? Brandon is the same age I was when I got pregnant. He's 24, right? He's 24. I had a baby at 24. And I had a high-risk pregnancy at that same age, and I didn't have a dime. I was on a couch. I mean, like I came out okay. And it's so funny that my son was judging someone the other day. We were out on this was probably 6 months ago, but we were walking the dog, and he was complaining about somebody who got pregnant, unplanned pregnancy. And she was also 24. And he's like, and she doesn't even have whatever. And I said, baby, how did you think you got here? Like, what do you think? How did you get here? Like, I didn't even have a place for you. You slept in a laundry basket. Like, and he's like, that's serious? Yes. Yes, I didn't have a crib or a bassinet or a box of diapers. I didn't have a thing. So, no. If they hadn't have sent me home with diapers, you wouldn't have had any. Although somebody, the one nice thing is that I've been loved my whole life. So, So it's not hard. It's not hard to have people do nice things for you. And when I got pregnant with Karsten, somebody sent me, I think the family put together or something, but they sent me a year of diapers. I had a diaper service, and that was fabulous. Fabulous. And so I'm coming up here. I am going to Culver's, and I'm trying to figure out what is happening here. If I'm doing this wrong or right, or what is going on. So yeah. Okay. Open. Nope, that is the weird drive-through line. Okay. Well, I think I have to go have dinner. So that's the life. Maybe I'll tap back in or something. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna have a baby. Lots of crazy stuff was happening today, and now I am going to go to Culver's and get a burger. All right, see ya.